If you want to help Myth Vision Podcast grow, you can join our Patreon. There are different tiers, as well as help out with PayPal. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Question from Reed, I believe it is. And it's got like an L or an I, capital I, R-E-A-D, and then another L or capital I. So, Reed. Dr. Price, if we believe that Paul was a religious Jew who persecuted the original practitioners of the Jewish Christian sect, and if we believe that Philo was a practicing Jew, and we believe that the Dead Sea Scrolls were the product of a diverse Jewish sect, and if we believe that the various and sundry elements of the Philo sect and the Dead Sea Scrolls sect were acceptable forms of Judaism, then what was the Christian element that the pre-Pauline Jewish sect believed that was so antithetical to Judaism that Paul had to persecute it? I see a disconnection in this somewhere, and it is even more confusing because it would seem to me the Jesus that Paul envisions as spiritual character, found in the Scriptures, would have been no more objectionable to Jews than Philo's Logos, who he similarly found in Scripture. Is it that Paul was accepting non-canonical Old Testament books as Scripture? That seems trite. Where am I missing something?
The only clue that I know of, and it is a big one, is that it has to do with what Stephen is reported to have been teaching in Acts, that Jesus of Nazareth will destroy this place and the law. And that would have been upsetting to some. Like the Qumran group boycotted the temple and believed it would be replaced from heaven. And Jesus seems to be cast as saying that when he said, destroy this temple made with hands and I will build another not made with hands. That means not fashioned by human beings, probably not even material. It's more like the New Jerusalem in the book of Revelation. That's what's there instead of a temple. You know, Revelation says there'll be no temple because God will dwell among his people, but there is an analog to it, the bejeweled city of the New Jerusalem. So that was a view of sectarian Jews. And it could be that if he's talking against the law, that some people would have said, well, them's fighting words. But as I say, the notion that Paul persecuted Christians is especially at the behest of the Jerusalem Sanhedrin, is highly dubious historically. But if it's true, Luke is suggesting in Acts that it was because of Stephen's teaching, that he must have been part of the synagogue of the freedmen, which is mentioned again later, and that Paul is later debating with them in Jerusalem. So it seems like that's what Luke imagined, inciting mob violence. And if certain Muslims in the Middle East today are any kind of example, it's not too tough imagining that happening.
Mm-hmm.